Kentucky is a member of the House Budget Committee, and he joins us this morning from Louisville. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Savannah.
Before we get into the budget, I wanted to ask you about the president's trip to Fort Campbell this morning, and how you feel about the fact that troops trained at Fort Campbell were involved in some of the helicopter activity in this assault that led to the the kill of Osama bin Laden.
Well, in Kentucky, we're very proud of the 101st Airborne. I think it's the most frequently deployed contingency unit in the U.S. Army, and they've suffered an awful lot of casualties and injuries in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I think we're very proud of them. They've made enormous contributions to our efforts there, and I think it'll be a great boost to their morale for the president to visit today.
You know, Congressman, I know you've been rather critical of Afghanistan policy. I wonder if you think the death of Osama bin Laden is a game changer, perhaps could expedite the withdrawal of U.S. troops.
I hope it is. I think it certainly is a very dramatic evidence that the most effective way to combat terrorism is with intelligence and these special operations, and not this bludgeoning approach of 100,000 troops. So I think it will certainly, and it already has, provoked a lot of different conversations about Afghanistan and about the best way of combating terror. So I think it will be a game changer.
Let's turn to the budget. It seems like there's a bit of some mixed messages going on the Republican side about whether or not they're going to keep pushing Paul Ryan's plan that would overhaul dramatically Medicare. Speaker Boehner tweeted, "Saving Medicare off the table? Absolutely not. Nothing is off the table except raising taxes. Tax hikes will hurt economy and job creation." And yet other Republicans seem to be cooling to the plan. What's your sense? I mean, are we closer to a deal now?
Well, I'm not sure we're closer to a deal, but I think what you're seeing is a lot of Republicans who realize that the plan that they approved in the House of Representatives, which is basically to end Medicare as we know it for everybody under 55, while doing nothing to help stabilize Medicare for those who are in the system now, doing that while cutting taxes further for millionaires and billionaires and sustaining or maintaining these tax breaks for oil companies, they know that that's not a policy that the American people are going to support. People believe that we have an obligation, a social contract to our senior citizens, and the Republicans want to do away with it. Now everybody in the House, with the exception of a handful, are on record, and they're going to be held accountable for that. I think the frightening thing is that this is the only solution that Republicans had to these long-term plans, something that the American people decisively reject.
Well, Congressman, let me ask you about something that Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius said. She said, quote, "If you run out of the government voucher," and this is her speaking of the Ryan plan, "and then you run out of your own money, you're left to scrape together charity care, go without care, die sooner. There really aren't a lot of options." You know, both Republicans and Democrats over the years have used scare tactics when it comes to this debate. Do you think that it's time to set aside the hot rhetoric on both sides? I mean, is this kind of talk really conducive to a deal?
No, it's not conducive to a deal, but you know, last year we passed the Affordable Care Act. We made significant changes and improvements to Medicare that have already, according to CBO, they've already extended the life by 11 years, and we put into place mechanisms for trying to bring down costs over the long term. We've done a significant amount to stabilize Medicare, and unfortunately, the Republicans, while offering a plan the American people don't like, are still trying to undo what we did, which we think is an effective approach. So, you know, the rhetoric doesn't help at all, and I think the mood is actually better in Washington, not just because of Osama bin Laden, but in general. The problem is the ideological rigidity that we see actually in both sides is preventing us from having the kind of conversation that we need to have.
All right. Well, Congressman John Yarmuth, it's good to have you here, and it's
Thanks,
a big
Savannah.
week for you. I know. I was told the Derby is tomorrow, but the party starts today.
The party. This is my pink tie. Friday's pink day at Churchill Downs with the Kentucky Oaks, and it's a big weekend.
All right, and we're showing the parade video to prove the party has started. All right,
and
Congressman.
You can watch it on MSNBC tomorrow.
Excellent. All right, Congressman. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, coming up, we've got some big